I am F. King Alexander, LSU President and Chancellor, and it is my distinct pleasure to welcome you to the 2083rd Commencement Exercises at Louisiana State University. A university's quality and stature is a reflection of the quality and stature of its faculty. At LSU, we are surrounded by truly superb scholars and educators who have helped to make LSU the distinguished university that it is today. I ask our faculty to stand at this moment so that they can please be appropriately recognized by the audience and our students. Please stand, faculty. I also want to recognize the many guests who came to participate in this great celebration on this very important day, especially the parents, grandparents, spouses, and children who helped today's graduates on his or her way to this important finale. Sometimes pushing, sometimes pulling, but always supporting the path toward this day and this important educational milestone. Today's commencement marks one step in this completed effort, and also it marks the beginning of a new adventure. Today, we are pleased to also welcome some distinguished groups of alumni back to LSU's campus. Every year, the Golden Tigers, part of the LSU Alumni Association that includes alumni who have celebrated at least one 50-year anniversary of graduating from LSU, gathers for their annual reunion. This year, they are honoring the newest members of their organization, the class of 1964. Would the members of the class of 1964 please stand to be recognized? Would the other members of the Golden Tigers reunion please join the class of 64 in standing? Thank you for remaining such loyal members of the great LSU family. Please be seated. As we acknowledge the class of 1964, we must remember that there was a time at LSU, it was a time of the height of the civil rights movement. Today, we are indeed proud to honor 6 individuals who enrolled at LSU in 1964, paving the way for future generations of LSU students by becoming the first group of African American students to legally challenge and then desegregate this great university. 3 of those inspirational individuals were able to join us today. Would you please remain standing as I call your name? Dr. Freya Anderson Rivers. Carlise Collins, Miss Carlise Collins, Mr. Carlise Collins. Mr. Oliver F. Mack, Jr. Those unable to attend, Mr. Mason Ingram, Mr. Clifford Ray Smith, and Mr. Adam Sterling III. At this time, I would also like to recognize 10 other African American students who later also enrolled at LSU in 1964 because of these efforts, as a result of the legal challenge, who are with us today as well. Please stand as I call your name. Mr. Leon Anderson, Miss Veronica Harris Brown, Mr. Aaron Hardnett, Dr. Artis Dunbar Hegemon, Miss Charlotte St. Amand Mathis, Miss Amelia Hayes Pulim, Mr. Henry Stewart III, Miss Diane Thomas, Dr. Irene Jackson Towson, and Mr. Charlie West. We are proud to count these individuals as groundbreaking leaders among the LSU family. We'll speak a bit more later in the ceremony. The spring class of 2014 has some very interesting record-breaking statistics. This is the largest spring graduation commencement in our history. Nearly 3,950 total graduates are walking this spring, over 3,000 baccalaureate degrees, over 885 graduate degrees. They are represented by 57 parishes, 47 states, and 57 different nations around the world. Our undergraduates range in age from 19 to age 69, with the majority around 22 to 23 years old. And more than 320 African American students are graduating today. The class of 2014, in its totality, 570 African American students are graduating, the largest, most successful African American graduating class in LSU's history. This class also marks the largest and most successful Hispanic graduating class in the history of LSU. This record-breaking class also recognizes that this is the largest, most successful female graduating class in the history of LSU. It is a real sign of our progress, both as a university and as a nation, that we can commemorate the legal end of segregation at LSU 50 years ago. At the same time, we note that our African American graduation rate has hit its highest mark in history, well above the national average, while also our African American enrollment has reached more than 3,200 students. And perhaps more fitting than all the previous statistics, this commencement marks these all-time highs that we hope to continue to build upon, thanks to the work of so many that began in 1964. Now, for a brief moment, I'd like to address all of those graduating today. On this special day, it is an honor for me to stand before you to officially recognize your important educational milestone. Ceremonies such as these begun 600 years ago, and they were created to signify to society that you have mastered an academic field of study. On this day, we celebrate your academic mastery, and we present this important accomplishment to our local communities, the state of Louisiana, and this great nation. However, as we all understand, this achievement does not simply belong to the graduates sitting before us today. It also belongs to all the families who have sacrificed so much to see this day arrive. It also belongs to the citizens of Louisiana, our outstanding LSU faculty and staff, our over 250 LSU alumni and friends who have believed in your capacity to make society a much more vibrant, intellectually stimulating, and sustainable environment. As you look around at so many of your fellow classmates, please keep in mind as you go forward, as of today, you will be among this nation's top 32nd percentile in educational success and attainment. Even more importantly, however, as of today, you will be among the very minority in this world. As of today, you will be among the world's top 7th percent in educational success and attainment. For our graduate students, these figures are even more selective and impressive. The reason that I share these facts with you are twofold. First, it's to remind you of what a significant accomplishment this truly is, and for many of your family members. Second, and more importantly, however, it is to remind you of your social responsibility and obligation to all those that in need of similar educational opportunities that will undoubtedly enable them to maximize their potential as individuals and global citizens. As one of the world's most educated citizens now, with the greatest potential to help others, you are now being handed the mantle with the potential to provide widespread hope and global opportunity. Through your individual and collective intellectual ability, you will be needed to help others free themselves from the bonds of human ignorance and prejudice. You are needed to make the right societal choices that expand prosperity and reduce inequality. You are needed to provide the future ideas that will help feed and shelter an expanding world population. And you are needed to ensure that the next generation of children and students have more educational and economic opportunity than previous generations have enjoyed, no matter whether you live in Louisiana, Los Angeles, or London. We all have great faith in you and what we know you will accomplish for so many in need of your great talents and wisdom. The LSU family wishes you the best of luck in these endeavors, and we will take great pride in every accomplishment that you achieve, and we know that we take great pride that you will carry LSU wherever you are on this earth. Go Tigers, and congratulations.